Gun to our heads. What's up, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Gun to Our Heads, a Patreon-only podcast. You guys can get this on my Patreon page. We are talking to hilarious comedians. Gun to your head, one's got to go. And I have another guest, somebody that I wanted on the show a long time, somebody that probably, in my opinion, one of the funniest people out there. And I mean, I can't even get the podcast started with this guy without laughing because we're already laughing. The one and only Brett Ernst is on Gun to Our Heads. We are going to be discussing something over the next 30 minutes. Now, we had a couple in mind, Brett. By the way, thank you for being here. Okay.
Don't worry about where I'm at.
Brett's in hiding right now. So,
I'm in an undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location somewhere. Don't worry about where I'm. So, do you want to do the age thing? We were thinking about the age thing, where if you can be an age the rest of your life, okay, you could stay that age the rest of your life. Gun to your head, which would you do? And
I do the one I like, the criminal one, where like gun to your head. Are you either a drug dealer, bank robber, or do you go around putting guns to people's heads and making them choose between speculative situations?
Well, that's how this came about. I was eating a burger with a friend. The guy came in with a gun.
Are you gonna relish mustard or ketchup? Gun to your head. And you're like, oh, I don't know.
No, we always come up with these hypotheticals.
Yeah.
We always come up with these. Me and you were talking beach, ocean or pool. We were talking burger or pizza. Believe it or not, I mean, we're Italian, so to us that question's a sin. But there are some people that would like a nice burger and get rid of pizza.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. If I eat burgers more than I eat pizza, but I enjoy pizza more than I do burgers. If that makes sense. Like, could you imagine going your whole life without ever eating Spumoni Gardens?
I mean, imagine going your whole life with just not being able to walk. I'll tell you right now, I'm in Sarasota, Florida. You want to laugh? I'm in Sarasota, Florida, and I was in the mood for a slice. So I go, is there a place?
Why would you even do that?
The Sicilian guy just opened a joint down here. He's got a place in Sicily and a place here. It was the best pepperoni slice I had in my life. It was one of the best pepperoni slices I had in my life. The only thing that the guy was a little off was the crust wasn't great, but the pizza was great.
Well, I mean, it's true. It's true about the water down there, though. There's so much sulfur in the water down there that it does affect the pizza.
So I mean, if you could, listen, the thing that I love about Brett, and for you people watching, Brett is such an Italian kid that when you're interrupting him, it's like in between sets. Like, it's like, and I don't mean comedy sets. I mean, it's in between his push-up. Like, I'll literally be on the phone. I mean, you actually have a cologne guy. I mean, you have a fucking cologne dealer, right?
Yes, a guy I get cologne from, an Arab guy.
I mean, who has a guy that you go meet him? You go meet him like it's a drug deal.
I mean, it's I get all top shelf cologne for about $20, $30 a bottle, cash.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is it a knockoff or is it the real thing?
I got 3 with me right now.
Oh, that's hilarious.
This is the new Aqua di Gio, which I purchased from him.
Guys, this isn't a podcast this is a sales.
Pondo.
Oh, that's a good one?
Yeah, this is the new Versace. Now, this is a gem right here, Paul. I can't even pronounce it. Territora? $16 on Amazon. When I tell you, you put this on at the gym and everybody is happy. The whole gym is happy.
All right, gun to your head. You got to lose a nightclub or a gym. One's got to go the rest of your life. You want to do that one? I mean, you're an Italian kid.
That's easy, bro. That's
what?
Easy. Get rid of the nightclub, man. I can't even stand nightclubs now. That's why I think the age thing is important, and here's why.
Okay.
I think that, you have 2 primes. Like, you have 2, like, for me, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like my age now, and I like where I'm at. But, my mid-20s were phenomenal. And your middle school years are phenomenal. Because, like, you have the 2 times where when you're a kid and before you like women and, before you're in love with the opposite sex and shit is magical and fun, or when you're doing well with the opposite sex and hanging out with your friends, and now you're, because both of them, you don't really have that much responsibility. You know what I mean? So
Right.
which
Yeah.
one, if you had a gun to your head,
Yeah.
unless you have a different age group you want to put in. I mean, and look, I'm going to exempt you from this because you're going to have a gun to your head and be forced to say, well, having kids and a family, I get that. All right.
No, no, no. Let's do it without that.
That's what I'm saying. We can't, you can't say that.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right? You're not allowed to use your family as the thing about having kids, and because I know how much you love your family.
Okay.
So you got to be one age. You got to pick one age to either skip or to be. What would you prefer?
So I think the age group that I would go only.
How would the scenario go? Like, how would we phrase this? Either you could have never been that. Well, no, that's stupid. Which one, if you could pick, gun to your head, this would be better. Gun to your head. Because whatever kid age you pick, what would that be? I would say middle school for me. I loved it.
Yeah, I would say I liked middle school way more than high school. So I would say probably around like 7th grade. Seventh grade is kind of like, you start playing sports. Yeah, you're just interested in girls. Like that's new, so I would say that.
Little feelings with the girl in class, you get those little feelings.
Yeah, but there's another age which is really good, and I think it's an important one because you get everything in life. I think it's when you start making money. I think it's when you start to really know what you want in a relationship. I think it's kind of when you have a little more wisdom. And I would say, I got to be honest, bro, I would say mid-30s.
All right, but see, now here's why I'm not saying that. Mid-30s is responsibility still. I'm not talking about that. There's those two ages where you're still a kid almost. It's still carefree. It's still fun. Like when you're in your 20s, you're young.
Yeah.
But you got a grown man body, right? And you're doing grown people stuff. And when you're 12 and 13, you're young. Like for me, I'm going middle school, man. I mean, I had great times in my 20s, but man, when you're 12 years old and you see that's before you realize professional athletes are fucking scumbags. You know what I mean? It's when your friends call you, they call for you, they knock on the door and they're like, yo, we got to go play football. And you're playing football. And then the next thing you know, you're playing baseball. And then you're at night throwing eggs and breaking windows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I think middle school was magical. And I was playing Little League football.
No, that's when I started playing football. That's when you have the festivals, all the kids would go to the fest. I get all that. But I think I would go prime of my life. I think I would go, if you want to. So you're saying the two age groups are middle school or mid-20s?
Well, yeah, because, again, mid-20s, like that first year I started comedy when I was like 25, like 24, around there. Just got out. Yeah, I was enjoying myself. My friends were still around. Nobody had a family yet, so we're all going out on a fucking Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm ripped. I'm shredded.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get girls for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the chubby six that you clipped when you're 19 over the summer, but like real adult women.
Yeah, I think I would choose that over the middle school, just because I would want, like you said, like that's when you start driving nicer cars. I was big on driving through the streets with the music I wanted on, whether it was Biggie or whatever. There was something about that. Me and my friend, we put like a kicker in the back. We would go, I spent all my work money. I would just keep going, get kickers. I had a system. Did you have a system in the car?
Dude, absolutely. I could tell. What was yours? I'll tell you mine.
I had two. One, I think I had a Rockford Fosgate. I think
Fosgate amp.
I
had an acoustic amp one time.
I had a kicker.
Oh, the kickers were loud, man.
Yeah.
Dude, but what was funny? Remember when you had to talk about distortion levels, which was the clear. Because of the cassette tapes. Gun to your head. Would you have a .001 distortion level acoustic amp? No. And then I had acoustic amp. I had MTX Blue Thunders.
Yeah.
15-inch woofers.
Yeah.
I just had regular, what I had, the Panasonic mid-range that I bought at like, because you didn't really care about that as much as the bass.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a Clarion receiver with a Pyramid EQ.
I had a Clarion.
Did you really?
The receiver, yeah, yeah. Those are the. So wait, so which were you saying now though? Are you
Oh,
going
wait, here's
12?
another question. Did you have an electronic crossover, or did you use a the coil? Because you could rig it with, like, I had a Fosgate coil, a voice coil that you could put in that acted as
No,
like
I didn't. No, I didn't have that. But so wait, so what are you saying now? Are you saying middle school or 20s?
I'm just really talking about how great both the ages are, and then I'll tell you my decisions. I might go middle school because, all right, what made middle school so magic? Number one, you're all your friends, right? You're understanding things like video games and,
Yeah.
which you still have no real responsibilities. You're kind of getting in trouble, but it's fun stuff. It's not shit that can get you on trial and locked up yet. Well, except I did steal a car in middle school.
Did you?
But, yeah, I was in a stolen vehicle. I didn't actually steal it. And then,
Dude, we in middle school we burnt a building down. We did graffiti.
yeah, dude, that was huge, setting shit on fire.
we had tag names. We did graffiti.
Yeah.
So we would get the cans and we went to this abandoned building and we fucking sprayed it, and then we got lighter fluid and we put the lighter fluid and all of a sudden we were at the park hours later and we see smoke and fire engines going there, dude. We put people's lives in danger, dude. So it's like really stupid shit that you just don't realize. Like, we used to throw rocks at cars.
Oh yeah.
I remember one time this Cadillac stopped and he backed up and they came and they had bats. They were going to try to, and me and my friend were laying in the shrubs, dude, scared shitless.
You know what we did, me and my brother? So in the apartment building, the doors opened in, right? So we took rope and we tied all the doors together, and then we pulled the fire alarm so people were trying to get out, but they couldn't because, like, the doors were tied. Yeah, they were tied.
Jesus.
Isn't that great? We tied it, and dude, we ran this. It was, I would say, I would describe it more as like a thin rope. Yeah. But we broke into the maintenance thing, so like there was so much shit in there. We also used to take we were such punks. We used to take the fluorescent light bulbs, right?
Yeah.
You know, the big ones, and you pop them.
Oh yeah,
you hit each other with them. Did you ever?
Yeah.
Did you ever shoot Roman candles at each other and shit like that?
Oh yeah, dude. Roman candle fights and dude. I mean.
So, all right, so we had this kid. So steroids and fireworks, one guy buys for the whole neighborhood, right? There's one guy that takes everybody's money and knows where to go. So there was this kid that I used to roam with back in the day, and we used to get our fireworks in Chinatown. And I don't know if you ever bought fireworks in Chinatown, but we were coming in from New Jersey. So we would go into Manhattan, like Little Italy area at that time, because it was bigger then. You know, like how you'd be in front of a nightclub in New York or something, and then there'd be a drug dealer walking down the street going, I got weed, I got coke, like mumbling?
Dude, that's outside the cellar now.
Still, okay.
Yeah.
Back then, it was the same thing. Like, you'd have a Chinese dude going, I got the bottle rocket, I got the M80, right? Like, as he's walking, like he's got the fireworks. And you give him the money and be like, yo, so let me get this. Like, Roman candles, M80s, you give him all the money. Dude takes your money, he takes off, right? And you think you get robbed. And then like 3 or 4 minutes later, a different Chinese dude comes turning the corner with a bag and he's like, go now. And now you got the fireworks. And then we would come back and, you would hand them out to everybody. And then, sorry, it's New Year's Eve plans. So then, we would hand them out, but then we would shoot Roman candles at each other. And we would also take bottle rockets and make PVC guns and shoot them at each other.
Dude, I got suspended out of school.
That's middle school, bro. That's what middle school was so much fun, man.
Dude, I put bottle rockets out the window of the bus, and they almost expelled me from school because I didn't like the school my mom moved me to. So I brought bottle rockets on the bus, and I put them out the back window, and they were shooting at cars that were coming behind us. And I got in big trouble. Yeah, I got in big trouble. But, the argument.
We used to dip tennis balls in lighter fluid and light them and then kick them and throw them off. Like my buddy, you always had that one kid that had to like go to the extreme. Mike Young has a great bit about that. But we would sit there and he would pick them up, right? And then he would try and throw them, and I would kick them, and we would kick them off the roofs. And they would
Oh, that's hilarious.
But where the fuck are they going? Like,
yeah.
My brother was out of his tree. We had a factory that on our block, and the 18-wheelers would pull in real slow to make deliveries, like really slow.
Yeah.
And my brother and his friend Mike used to run underneath them, time them and run underneath them, like where they were pulling in really slow. Yeah. And you think about that as a kid, we thought it was hilarious, but you're risking your life.
It's like, if the gun to our head is basically, are you going to be in your mid-20s or are you going to be in middle school? And I'll tell you my answer right now. Gun to my head, I'm going 20s so I could listen to my music blasted in the car. I started getting jobs, you get into these like relationships you don't know. Like when you're 25, the girl that you meet is either going to be could be your wife, or it could just be, but like that's a part of your life that it's like, you're not so deep in with the responsibility, right? You're not so deep in with debt, depending on what comes, but you're not,
I was sleeping on my mom's couch at 24.
Yeah, it's like so for me,
after I got kicked out of the 2-3 apartments I had when I was 17 and 18, with like 15 friends as roommates.
Yeah, I would say a nice 25, dude. Keep it at 25. I think because I think like sky's the limit, because you got to look at it like this though too. When you're in middle school, you are a little limited. After the skateboarding and the video games and all that stuff that we're talking about, then you kind of, you got to be in bed. Your mother, you don't have that much freedom. Your mother's like, all right, it's 10:30, you got school tomorrow. Did you ever have friends try sneaking around your house at night? They come to hang out?
I would always, I was the one that went out. I would say, you sleeping over your friend's house. We were out to like, I remember being out to like 4 or 5 in the morning and just doing nothing, walking around, taking the railroad tracks.
Dude, you got that bit on your special that I love, where you said there's that kid that's just always out. It's like, where were your parents? And he's like standing outside at midnight. That's so true, because every neighborhood had that kid. That's so fucking funny, man.
But and also here's why I would make a case for my 20s. Okay. Again, the only good thing about being a kid is pretty much everybody is still alive. You know what I mean?
Oof, that's a good one.
And but 25, what I love still is that, I mean, I would probably go a little under that, but we'll keep it at 25. But all my friends were still around, right? Yeah. So we were old enough to where like we knew we had to get life going, but we were still young enough to where we could all be together. And you figure it's always going to be you and your boys, you know what I mean, and your friends. Yeah. And we had girls that we hung out, that were part of a group, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, at the end of the day, we were the core of it. And it's funny, we're all still tight now, but.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you said that. It's funny that you said, like, you were on your mom's couch or whatever, because my mother and my parents told me I was wild, bro. I was drinking. I was getting arrested. I was just partying out of control.
At 25?
No, that's the thing. My parents said from like 22 to 24, I became a different person. 24, I got responsible. Stand-up helped me, because I actually did my first open mic when I was 21. And obviously the first couple of years I wasn't getting up. But like stand-up kind of made me have a goal and made me see something I can do. But by the time I was 24, I had my shit together. So 25, I had the job, I had the car, I was going around, still feeling stuff out, but stand-up, I was like, 3 years into stand-up. So it was like I was driving myself to gigs, and I was like, that dream that I had, I was actually doing. So right. Yeah, I say 25, and you make a good point, man. People didn't die or get sick, rest their souls, Yeah,
I mean, look, I had one major loss when I was 10, but other than that, 12, 13, my grandparents were still around, you had friends and family but getting back to the 20s, see, again, it depends on your journey. I mean, if I'm going to be specific to me, I mean, I was running in after hours at 22 years old, 21 years old. You know what I mean? I had cash in my pocket,
Yeah.
a lot of cash. You know what I mean? I was doing things. Then shit happened, and I decided, let me go play football and go back to school. I had an opportunity, and
Yeah.
then, but that I stepped on stage like almost around my 25th birthday. But at that time, I was in the best shape of my life. You know, like I said, man, we would go out. We would always go. I loved going out, you know, talking to girls, picking up girls. We were getting in fights like every other night. Because, you know, that's the age too where you're going out during the week.
Yeah.
It's like we're out on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's 2 a.m. And, you know, because we didn't have real jobs, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because if I'm 25 and me and you were friends, I could call you up and be like, Brett, you want to go to the pool hall, shoot some stick, and get a drink, you know. But here now,
You know, we're in Manhattan at 7 a.m. At an after hours. People are gambling. That's back when they had them.
but now I'll make a case for 12. Here's one thing about 12 we can make a case for, especially for us. Not 12-year-olds now. We're talking about us. No social media. So like it was basically a simpler time where it's like you didn't have to like there wasn't pressure. Like the biggest thing was like, you know, what dance. Remember, it was like, yo, when I was a kid, when we were in middle school, it was like, can you do the Running Man? Right? The Running Man was like, you know, your friends would do it. You would get like you get a cassette tape of the hottest song. And remember you know, we used to steal the singles. You remember the single tapes?
I remember, yeah, of course. They would be, yeah.
Sam Goody.
Like little they would be stacked up. They had the little thing at
What
was Peaches Music?
What's that?
Peaches, remember Peaches, the music store?
Yeah. There was peaches, there was strawberries, there was
Strawberries is the one. And strawberries.
what was that one? Grapes? Did you go to Grapes?
Remember, but what was the one that sold the little crates that you could put the tapes in for like $2? They were like little wooden crates that you would buy apples in.
No, we had the ones where the CDs would go in too, when the CDs first came out. So like now my kids are on social media, but my kids are like this all day. They're looking at the phone, they're you know, they're TikTok and this and that, you know, they're inside and all that stuff. So I feel like with us, it's like, yo, meet me up on the street, we're playing stickball. Yo, meet me up there, we're playing wiffle ball. Like it was just like, yo, I'm gonna rush dinner. Remember you were rushing dinner so you could go back outside.
Kidding me?
So it was like there was a simpler time there. People weren't the way they were about politics then. Even like if you were, you know.
But yeah, but I mean, but they weren't like that in my 20s either. I think that's a new phenomenon. But getting back to the case for 12, okay. I think also the time we grew up was a little bit more magical than what kids have now. Because even my best friend said it sucks. Like his son their interaction is online. Like. Yeah. He plays this video game with a headset on. And I remember we were growing up, there'd be like 80 kids on bikes everywhere. Like everybody was always outside, man. And you would meet at the park and then meet the girl down the park. And, you know, that type of stuff was always fun.
I don't know.
Yeah, dinner was great. Or when your friend called for you? Remember did you ever go call for somebody?
No, what do you mean?
You got to call for him. You'd be like, yo, I'm going to go call for Al. I'm like, all right, you go run over and knock on the door. Is Al there? Mom's like, yeah. And then Al's like, you know, come on, you want to come out? You had to go, we used to say call for him.
Oh, okay.
Remember getting in fights? This was the other thing. Remember when you had to get into a fight after school? I don't know if this was a real loophole or not. But we would go, like, if I was going to go fight a kid after school, I would run home, put my foot in the door to say I went home first and then went to go fight the kid. Because if you didn't go home, on the way home, I could have got suspended. But because I was home, now I'm not the school's responsibility anymore. Do you remember that loophole or no?
Oh, shit. No, I didn't. That's such an Italian thing, though. That's hilarious.
No, it was an inner city thing at that time. But yeah, like you were going to go fight a kid. If you were going to go fight somebody.
So they're not liable, yeah.
Put your foot in the door, and then I'm going to go fight this kid. You'd be like, wait right here. And then you run home.
You know what, man? 12 is starting to sound good.
12 was a lot of fun. We went to the roller skating rink at 12.
Oh, yeah.
They used to have that we had this thing too, man. And this was in like Passaic, New Jersey, but they had this thing called night gym, right? So it was supposed to keep like kids off the streets. So we would go to night gym and they would pretty much lock the doors. But now they just locked you in with the worst kids in the fucking in the area. So now we're actually in a confined area. Like kids were getting robbed under the bleachers and beat up and shit. It was supposed to help us. We got locked in with them.
So when you were 25, though, you were doing stand-up only a year.
Not even. But
Not
I just started.
So what was your job? What was your job?
What was I doing at that time? I think I was a security guard, and then I worked at the nightclubs. I got out of the nightclub scene, man, because it got pretty. There was too much shit going on at that time.
Yeah.
Too much shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of problems, and down here, this was in South Florida. There was a lot there was a lot of illegal activities going on all the time. And whether you wanted to be a part of something or you didn't, you eventually had to be.
Yeah.
Because it was affecting wherever you were working.
Right.
And the people that were invested in it, I mean, it's Florida, dude, at that time. So it was a life choice that I had to get away from, but it was still one of my best times ever, man. Because I met my first girlfriend at that time that I ended up being with for 8 years. I had just met her or didn't meet her yet, and I was doing comedy and I was excited about the future, and I didn't mind going making less money than I did at 22. You know what I mean?
Dude, this is oh shit, what happened here?
Stop recording?
No, it's recording. Yeah, man.
Decision, because we got to move to the next one.
What's that?
The other thing that was great about 25 is, again, man, all the girls, bro. Like, I remember when girls actually just started talking to me. See, this is why women don't understand that. I got laid one time when I was 16. I didn't get ass again until I was like 18. Right?
Okay.
And then at about 19, 20 is when I started really maturing. Then I got my man body. But I was so used to only having sex once that anytime I had an opportunity, I took it. You know what I mean? Because I was like, it may never happen again.
Right, because there was such a long gap. Yeah.
And then it started happening more frequently. And then the next thing you know, you're like, I didn't know that this was what this was, because when you're a young kid, it's vagina's magical.
Yeah. Not just what even older. It's
well, you know what I mean? Like, you hear about it, like everybody's like, yo, did you get to second base? I don't want to be graphic.
Yeah, I know.
Like, yeah, you're like, get out of here, you felt the titty, you blew your mind.
Oh, dude, when you were a kid, man.
Looking at Playboys and looking at the bodies and going, how will I ever get that? Like, what am I? And then you get it, and then it's like, shit, man.
So I ask you, Brett Ernst, gun to your head, would you go back to being 12 or 25?
25.
You go 25? Man, you know what? I was at 25 at the beginning of this argument, but I'm thinking about the skateboarding and the I had my best friend Donnie. Me and Donnie, man, we were always like, we were the two, and we would either skateboard, play football. Like, I'll sleep at your house, you come to my house. Our families were friends, man. This is tough, man. I think, listen, it's very close with me, but I think I have to go 25 only because that would get old real. That was like good for what it was. But dude, 12 was a magical one.
Well, what I loved about 12 though is like, well, by the way, when I'm 25, Dallas had already won some Super Bowls. When I'm 12, Dallas is awful. But in middle school, I was all city in football.
Yeah.
So when I lived in Passaic, they won the state championship in New Jersey. So and it was a rough area, bro. Like,
Wait, were you a state champion or no?
In high school, no. In high school we made it to regionals. In Little League, yeah, I mean, we won our championship, but I was an all-star 2 years in a row. I played linebacker in Little League. But you have to understand too, man. Like, I'll send you a picture, you could post it. But I was literally the only white kid on. There was me and this other kid, Tom. But it was a rough area and a rough time to be there. And to me, it wasn't because these kids were all my friends. You know what I mean? But my Passaic and Patterson had a pretty rough reputation at that time. So when I was 12 and I was playing football and I was getting in trouble and I had all these friends. And by the way, when my mother pulled me out and moved me down to Florida, my freshman year of high school, that team that I grew up with ended up winning the state championships for New Jersey. And it's weird because I had 2 high school reunions I could go to where I knew everybody at the high schools.
So where do you claim that you're from?
I will say Passaic, New Jersey had such an impact on me and it's such a big part of me, but I got to go South Florida because I spent the most time down here really. If I go, because I was back and forth a lot,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? But I consider South Florida, even though I could go back to Jersey and it's still home.
Real quick.
And by the way, that's the other thing. 12 years old, I'm in New Jersey. 25, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. I'm in Broward County, and I'm partying on South Beach.
Yeah.
At Liquids.
I
gotta go 25, cuz.
Yeah. No, dude, that's now that we're done pretty much. But I wanted to ask you something too. So you did stand up in LA. You went to LA after what?
3 years.
What's that?
I did it 3 years and then I moved to LA in 99.
You moved to LA in 99 and you were there for how long?
Till 2018.
Okay. Yeah. So, and you do, but you did go ahead.
Comedy Store. I moved out to LA to be in the Comedy Store. And I got passed I got in 99, but I got fully passed in 2000. So I was a paid regular at the Comedy Store for, I still am, obviously. I mean, but since about 2000.
Nice. And you've been doing stand-up now from 25 till now?
It'll be 24 years in May.
Wow. And let's just talk real quick about Cobra Kai. You got your Cobra Kai coming up?
Yeah, it premieres tonight. New Year's Eve. They pushed it to January 1st. I wanted to ask you one more question. I know we got to wrap this up because my mom's hungry. We got a big game on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know I'm a diehard Cowboy fan, and you're a diehard Giant fan.
Huge.
Gun to your head.
Okay, you're flipping it on me.
Right. If you weren't a Giant fan.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 questions because I'm going to force your gun to the head, then I'm going to ask you one. NFC East team that you hate the most, or gun to your head. Would you have to be a Redskin? Would you be a Redskin fan, Eagle fan, or a Cowboy fan if you weren't a Giant fan?
Knowing what I know now, if I was not a Giant fan, I would probably be a fan of Washington because my uncle is in the Ring of Fame with them. My uncle actually played for my great distant uncle, who I found out played for them. He played for Lombardi for 2 years. He was a Pro Bowler 2 years. And, so just because I had a distant relative who played for Washington, see, the thing that's hard about the Eagles and the Cowboys, what I don't like about the Cowboys is—
hold on. Let's take Washington out of it. Gun to your head. Eagles or a Cowboys fan?
I've never had more obnoxious assholes at a game than Cowboy fans. I've never had, me, my son, my brother is sitting there. This Cowboy fan was purposely standing up right behind us, yelling stuff. I wanted to really fight him in front of my kid. And I do got to be honest, and I know you're not going to like this, but you asked me a question. Well, not you, though, because you haven't done this. So I want to exempt you from what I'm about to say. But a lot of Cowboys fans don't talk as if you guys have won stuff since the mid-'90s. And you really have not won stuff since the mid-'90s, yet a lot of you guys talk like almost like, and I will put some of that's like Yankee fans are like that. Yankee fans think that even though we haven't won since 2009, right? Or no, we won one. What's that?
Yeah, we did. We won in
2009, and then we won one more.
Hold on.
We won in
I want to say 12, 11?
11 maybe?
There's so many. I mean, it's so hard to remember.
See, that's what it is, and that's what annoys people. But I would say, wow, I can't believe I'm going to say Eagles, bro. I don't even.
No, it was 9. It was 9.
It was 9, right?
We went and lost though.
Yeah, we went and lost. But Yankee fans,
There's 27 titles for the Yankees, by the way. But go ahead.
it's ridiculous, bro. I can't believe I'd say Eagles, but I don't, I got to be honest, though. I do like Jerry Jones in a weird way. I think it's because he went to the same fraternity. He belonged to the same fraternity as my older brother, Kappa Sigma, right? So, and like, he's just not, I don't really think Jerry Jones is a bad guy. I think I like that Jerry Jones gives guys a chance, especially guys that have drug problems, especially guys that have off the field problems. So, I liked Romo a lot. I thought Romo was a good kid. Yeah, so it's like because of the fans, I'd say Eagles, but actually team maybe. I mean, I can't. What are you doing to me, bro? How about you?
Giants. I'll take Giants over Eagles any day of the week.
I think. Yeah, I think I would have to take Eagles.
And I think it's because I grew. I used to go to Giant stadiums to watch games. I mean, all my family were Giant fans. I'd get in fist fights in school with them. But the Eagle fans to me are the worst. And I'm not a fan of Dallas fans either. I talk about it on the Cowboys podcast.
I know that's why I kind of said not you, because you always talk about there. Listen, there's a big portion of Yankee fans I can't handle. Like those guys that booed Jeter when he had an 0 for 33 slide, and they booed Mariano. It's like, I mean, listen, Eli Manning. Say what you want about Eli Manning. That guy has not gotten the credit or respect he's deserved.
All right, listen, we just talked about, because I had Jerry on last night on our podcast. We had to have a Giant rep. And I always said Eli used to get these balls in these positions. Even if the pass looked ugly, it always got there.
Yeah.
But going back to the difference with the Eagle fans and Giant fans. Eagle fans, their team could have 2 fucking victories all season, and they will go like, yeah, but we would have done this and for years. Giant fans, the Giants could go to the Super Bowl and lose, and they'd be like, they fucking suck.
Yeah.
Fuck them. They're all negative.
Yeah.
But I grew up,
Yeah.
My favorite. We played the game yesterday. Like, who's your favorite Cowboy? But you already said Romo. That's what Jerry said. I loved Mark Bavaro as a tight end. I thought he was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I used to love him. LT, I think, is a little overrated.
Wow, really? Well, that's a time for another podcast, because we will do that on another podcast.
I'm joking with you, man.
Oh, okay.
No, I would take the Giants all day. I mean, But now my next question, I know it's not a gun to your head. What other NFL team would you be a fan of if you weren't a Giant fan? You're not forced to pick between Cowboys and Eagles.
I always liked. I know it sounds weird, but my aunt lived in Denver for years. I always never minded the Broncos, and I'll be honest with you, I loved. Remember Sterling Sharp?
Of course.
So when Sterling Sharp was a Packer, and that was kind of when ESPN highlights were kind of big coming out, I used to like watching Sterling Sharp. So, I don't know if I'd be a fan of the Packers or Broncos, but like there are certain teams that I really don't mind, and those are 2 of them.
This is
Elway guy.
This is gonna sound crazy, man. Okay, my 2, and I've given this thought. I always loved the Raiders uniforms.
Yes.
My favorite non-Cowboy in NFL history was Jack Lambert. But the 2 teams, for some reason, man, I have an affinity for, is the fucking Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets.
Wow.
I used to like the Sack Exchange, and then, the Browns, man, there's just something about them. I mean, I actually wore their uniform in Little League one year when
I love the brown uniforms.
But I always liked, I don't know, man, it was always like it's like a dark little secret.
By the way, I had another uncle who played for the Brown. Kidding. Yo, my cousin.
My great cousin on my mother's side that I never met knew Curly Lambeau.
Yo, I got a cousin. He wasn't on a team or anything, but when they wheel out the balls, that
that was him.
That was yeah.
He was the bull. I got. My great uncle played for the Canton Bulldogs. He actually, no bullshit, he held the flag in the first NFL game ever between the Canton Bulldogs and the Poughkeepsie Shipmen.
Listen, not my uncle, but my uncle's distant cousin. he would make sure the lines, when they did the lines, his job was to make sure that the guy would say, "How's it look?" And he would say, like that. That's what he did. But it's not my uncle.
And that's why he worked at Wrigley Field. That's why I'm a big fan of the Chicago Cardinals. That's why the Cardinals are the Cardinals. You know that, right?
Why?
They were originally in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And they from what I read is like they were given uniforms that had red in them. They were supposed to be white, but I guess they got dyed, so they just said they were the Cardinals. And then that's when they went to St. Louis, and then they were the St. Louis Cardinals.
Wow, I didn't know
and
that.
now they're the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh,
but it's because they had Cardinal red uniforms.
Oh shit. Well, Brett,
That's all that was left.
Dude, thank you so much for doing this, and you really brought me down memory lane from when I was 12. So now I'm gonna go back to it. I had the tail. I gotta go back and look at these pictures.
I had a shag. I couldn't grow a tail because I had this, Italian, that Sicilian / Arab hair, Jew hair, whatever you want, Jew fro they call it.
Yeah. Well, this is a brand new Patreon, guys. I do apologize about having different sound and audio. I am on vacation with my family in Sarasota, Florida. Next one will be back to normal. Brett, you guys know, check Brett out. One of the funniest, one of the best. He's touring all over the place. Check out his website. Check out all of his stuff. His special, was it Principal's Office?
Yeah, dude, it just hit 3 million.
3 million. It's so funny. He's one of the best. Thanks so much for doing this, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Happy New Year, buddy. Kiss the family for me.
All right. Awesome, dude. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great.
I was gonna
Hold on. What's going on here? How come this thing is